What's going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? Welcome back to another episode of PT Post Mortem. I am one of your hosts, Swaggy, Dr. Kush. I'm a little irritated because I bought laptop RAM instead of PC RAM, and this is the other host, Doctor. What's going on, Doc?
I mean, I'm alive. I'm evidently a bit less irritated than you. I think I may be a bit happier, but with the way you introduced us, I think you were happy and giddy nonetheless.
Before we get into this episode, I was trying to tell Doc about my problems, and he kept saying, "Oh, okay" to me. So I feel like I actually have people that care about my problems listening right now. So let's get into this, Doc.
Yeah, you're a bit more happy now that we're actually started recording. Yeah, indeed. I think this is episode 21. I think the last episode we uploaded was episode 20. Jesus, I thought it was 19. Turned out to be 20.
You always gotta bring the episode numbers up.
Well,
who cares?
I feel like it's a good idea.
We're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
We are here indeed. So, on today's topics, we have got Scumbucket, Swag Bag, PT127, PT128, and we'll make a couple hints and bits and pieces at the patch notes and our opinions on them. I don't know if Swaggy's read it, and now he's having a laughing fit.
Because I looked down at my Scumbucket.
Who's your Scumbucket? Dave? Because... he's round fuckery?
Nah, Dave is the legendary Scumbucket. He's had like 4 of them. But no, we'll get to that later.
I thought it was a buck, to be honest.
The first fight was Nazanin versus Reese's.
No, it was Trodfen versus MG.
MG beat the dog shit out of him.
MG learnt a different strike.
Yes. I was shocked. I was so shocked in the booth because MG didn't only throw jab straights. I didn't even take notes. That's how shocked I was. I was like, wait a minute.
He learnt the slip uppercut.
Hooks,
he did go to a decision, but nonetheless, he did get there. He found a new strike other than the jab strike, which is nice to see. It's nice to see people progressing in their abilities, even as former champions.
Yeah, his championship run was kind of a fluke.
He beat Smudger at flyweight using Pantoja.
Yeah, it was kind of a fluke. Like, you just proved my point. The next fight was Nazanin versus Reese Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nazanin killed him.
Yes, but he did get knocked down, in fairness. For saying how... Okay, for saying how everybody of the chat was talking about it, saying how Fad was talking about it, Bossman, a lot of the FSK boys who were in Nazanin's corner, evidently, a lot of how they were talking about it, it's kind of a shock that Nazanin got knocked down from that perspective. Yeah, okay, it only lasted round 1, but in fairness to Reetsy, it's a good mark. He's got he's an up and comer. He wasn't meant to win this fight, but he mentioned.
Reese Peanut Butter Cup has been around forever, Doctor. He's been around forever, I feel.
Yes and no. Not to where he was ranked. He's been around on Edge for quite a long time. He made his this is only his 4th or 5th time.
You want me to break you the bad news now?
Oh God, what?
When you're around the unaired for a long time, you know what that means.
You become like Swaggy, dog shit. Yeah, we know.
I wasn't gonna say that. I'm retired.
Yeah, because you went fucking 0-6.
I'm like Dan Henderson. All right, never was a champion, but I retired with a good legacy.
Dan Henderson was good.
I only come back for main events.
He had the H-bomb. You don't have the H-bomb. Your equivalent of the H-bomb is your lover Spider Guard.
I have the Swaggy Spinnies. The Spider Guard can't even do in UFC 5 because there's no gis. There's no gis. If I could do a grappling match in UFC 5 with a gi on, I'd fuck you motherfuckers up, brother. Spider Guard.
You can't even grapple with the current system. You wouldn't know what to do if they implemented a new one with a gi.
Make Spider Guard like circle or something, and it's wraps.
I've got no words.
The next fight was mix-ups, right?
Yep, versus EK Cheery.
By murder, mix-ups by murder. Like that. Now, granted, it was 420, so I was high as shit during this entire card, and I tried my best to hide it. But at a certain point, I did see chat saying, "Wow, Swaggy's high as fuck," And I knew I was gonna get called out for it because I started eating chips, but I was scared that the crunch was gonna go over my mic, so I was really slowly just like
That is.
And just like staring at camera after like every bite, like kind of like looking at Cyrus in the eyes, like Cyrus is cool with this, I'm cool with this, and just like slowly going with it. But yeah, mix-ups
I
by
didn't
murder.
catch that, and I find that incredible. Yeah, Mix-Ups is coming up again. Like, he's on a +4 now. Like, this was kind of a late replacement 5.
4-1.
So, Cheery was originally meant to fight his campmate. Cheery said he'll fight anybody. His campmate refused to fight his own campmate. So, he's now suspended because that's the way this works. If you don't fight your campmates, that's just end of discussion. You're like, you're gonna fight who you get given. It's the way it goes on the live cards. End of discussion. Mix-ups then, there was literally nobody else apart from a couple. They all refused. Mix-ups took it. Cheery looked like he wouldn't be able to make it. And then suddenly he was able to make it. So then that fight happened, and that's how we ended up there. It was a weird one, but it got done eventually. It's sometimes the way this stuff goes.
Yeah, it was like mix-ups by murder. Like, mix-ups didn't belong in there with him. He beat the dog shit out of him. But I'm glad Mix-Ups got to have a fight like that. Because it proved that, like, he's levels above. And I am record watching again. He's 4-1. Pretty good record. But I'm still record watching.
Well, I mean, following from that fight, you had Basic versus EK Warrior. Wait.
I remember that fight slightly because Warrior put on a show.
I think it was Calvin Cater.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was Calvin Cater, and it was kind of just boxing. I remember catching the very end of it. I think I was having to sort out another fight at the time because something weird went on. But basically, it was just like he walked him down significantly, and by the end of it, was in round 2, it was against the cage, and Basic became wallpaper with the cage. Poor sod.
Yeah. You don't want to be wallpaper with the cage.
No, you don't want to be. From that fight, though, you had Eagle making his return. That's an eye roll and a half.
Yeah, because Eagle always does something stupid. I feel like he came out to impress us. He didn't do anything stupid this time around. He won, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Against K1 Futuro, right?
He looked good. Yes, I remember that fight. He looked good. Nobody could pronounce this other kid's name.
Yep.
Like, he looked good. Eagle looked good.
I mean,
Eagle's back on track. Like, it looks like Eagle's
well, here's the thing. Eagle should have been like back. He should have been within the top 10. But he's slow. But he just does dumb shit.
Yeah, he's stupid. But it's okay.
You can't call competitors stupid.
Why not, Doctor? What, like?
It's apparently it's a rude.
Is Eagle smart?
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Your point, yeah, okay, fine. Your point's been made.
And he was winning at one point. Then when he started to lose, he said, "Know what? I'm gonna keep striking."
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah. I mean, after that fight, you kind of lose all credibility as having some variation of IQ. So, after that, though, we had our featured prelim with Ripe having a religious experience against Muay Thai Jesus. Poor old Ripe.
I love Ripe.
Same.
I'm a massive Ripe fan.
He just can't catch a break.
I really don't want to say it. But if Ripe loses another one, I'm going to have to say it. And I really don't want to say it, but I'm a media analyst, and sometimes I have to tell the truth. And Ripe said confidently that, like, this is his season, and it just is not looking like his season. And he said in chat, even after that loss, I will be at the championship one day. And I believed that shit a month ago, but, like, today...
I believe it, honestly. Ripe's one of those members who's just... He has a couple off days, he comes back, he resorts himself out.
He lost to Jesus.
Yeah, but...
Who's Jesus?
Muay Thai Jesus.
Who the fuck is this guy?
It's Jesus. He's that good.
Muay Thai... Who the fuck is this guy? Like he came out of nowhere and beat Ripe.
He's that good. He took God's son's name and decided to run with it.
Jesus Christ. And now Muay Thai Jesus is like... like that. I have my eye on Muay Thai Jesus.
No, for sure.
I feel
No,
like he's gonna be a top fighter in the PS division.
I feel like with Ripe though, when you want to call him Wash, I feel like Ripe's always fighting. Like he doesn't stop. He legitimately, I don't think he's ever particularly stopped at any point. Unlike where you see names like Smudger and CV on the PlayStation side who take intermittent breaks. Sometimes they compete and then they go on a hiatus for a couple of weeks and they come back, get a couple more wins. I feel like with Ripe, even when he's off, he's still fighting. And so that's what leads him to being in this place a lot of the time.
Stop mentioning CV. Stop it. Like he
keeps appearing on the rankings and then he fucks off again, and I don't get it.
Once every 6 months, he makes a run and then he fucks up the division and he leaves for another 6 months. We're like, oh shit, TV title shot, and then we don't see him for 6 months.
Yeah, it is genuinely a bit odd. Some of these PlayStation guys, really good fighters, really enjoyable to watch, but they do completely disappear for days, for weeks on weeks.
What was the next fight?
Trixie versus Ali.
Oh, not the fight I thought so. Okay, this was a really good fight.
This was originally meant to be something else. What was it?
It was like back and forth at one point, but then Trixie just took over.
What was the fight originally? It was... Nope, that's the current card. Kieran Crow. He then pulled out. That's why.
Yeah. What was after Trixie?
Dex versus Holdy.
So...
What the fuck was this fight?
My swag bag and my scum bucket actually come from this fight.
What the fuck was this fight?
Before. We saw Holdy shock the world, is what this fight was. It was Holdy's first main card appearance.
Yeah, but the only thing Dex did was throw a jab.
Yeah, Dex didn't fight well, but I'm not going to take that away from Holdy, who proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I laughed at the fact that he was on the main card.
I'm going to blame you for this one, Swag. This is commentary curse all the way.
I laughed at the fact that he was even on a live.
Yeah, this is commentary curse. This is your fault. This is your fault.
I called Holdy a bum 4 times in the booth because I started laughing and Cyrus made me talk. And I was like, nah, I have nothing nice to say. And Cyrus is like, say it. And this was like later in the card. Like I was like off of like 800 milligrams of edibles at this point. Like I was done. So I went in on Holdy. I was like, Holdy a fucking bum. Like the fuck has Holdy done? Holdy's why the fuck is Holdy here? Like Holdy is literally a bum. I'd rather see Jay Diamond that spot. And then Holdy proved me wrong, which earned Holdy this swag bag and got me, for the first time ever, I got the legendary scum bucket. I gave it to myself.
Jesus. No, I do genuinely wonder what happened in that fight, because it's such a weird fight. It was jabs, and an overhand by Dex. And then the Tony Ferguson by a pick from Holdy just allowed him to survive, and then got it. I can't remember the finish. I just remember the weirdness of it.
Yeah, Dex is washed. I don't know what happened.
That I will take.
I don't know what happened between his title shot and Holdy fight, but Dex is done. You take a loss to Holdy, it's over.
Apparently getting KO'd by Drews does not mean you bode well for the rest of the division.
Holdy beating Dex is kind of like when Ben Askren beat Robbie Lawler.
It shouldn't have happened, and it didn't happen, but it did. And everybody's a bit scratching their heads, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's confused after. And then Ben gets a big shot and he gets flying knee by Jorge, which I'm assuming Holdy's fighting again this week, and Holdy gonna get knocked out.
Well, he was, and then he pulled out.
He's scared to lose on the main card in front of Big Swags.
Apparently so. We'll talk about that in a bit. We got a couple more fights, and then we've got 4, in fact, and we'll be good. So, first one up on this one is K1 Cooked versus Vuck. Yep.
Yeah, no, we don't even gotta talk about Cooked.
Number 1 contender.
Cooked.
Vuck cooked.
Vuck cooked him.
Yeah. What happened? I forgot. My brain decided to fry itself.
Came out very dominant. I watched Vuck fight 27 times on 420, so excuse me
It
if
all
I
blurs
get
into
a little,
another.
yeah,
No
but
wonder his PS overheated.
He did Vuck stuff. He wrestled, he struck, he won. Vuck stuff.
Yeah, no. It was kind of just the way that went. Following on from that fight, you had Dave versus
Now
Yorobum.
This is crazy because Yorobum's actually
This.
because
Okay.
Yorobum lost to Dave while Dave was like Dave broke the curse.
So
you don't understand.
Before we get into the curse, should we just
6-2?
Yeah.
That is fucking insane.
Yes.
Dave's gonna win the belt this season.
Swag, he got saved by the EA gods.
Yeah, he did.
Let's talk about this fight for 2 seconds. So the first round was Bum could not strike to save his life. He could not get a takedown to save his life. Dave dominated. End of discussion, that happened. Second round, Bum finally gets him on the floor, has a submission dropped in. Dave's a bit scary. It's now 1-1. Round 3 occurs. Bum does the same thing for half the round. It's on the floor. It's looking like he's round. Suddenly, internet connection issues happen. Next thing you know, they're stood up randomly because the game's reset. And then it's Dave's. Dave legitimately got saved by the EA gods. He should have lost it completely. And in any other scenario, he would have done. But for some reason, EA decided to be Dave's friend. So the curse was only broken because EA did not want him to go.
He's also a little lucky it was 420 and we were all way too high to call out some shenanigans. But, yeah, no, that shit was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was insane because he lost that fight up until they got stood up.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And then Fad versus Lilo.
I feel like, if I remember correctly, Lilo was doing quite good in the first round, and then it went downhill massively in the second.
I have written down that Fad killed him.
That's also very true, probably. I assume. It's Fad. He's not the baddie just yet, but he's nearly there.
Nah, Fatty the laddie, yeah, he's still there. He's, Fad's becoming my guy again. Mm-hmm. As much as Fad hates me because I tell the truth as a media analyst, he is becoming one of those fighters that I'm like, he could be a champion again. He just got to beat Driz, which seems hard for him.
Well, we'll find out. I've got the picks, and I think you'll be shocked by the picks, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Naz versus Buck first.
Naz versus Buck. This went to a decision, and this was a weird fight.
Naz won 4-1.
Yeah, but Vuck's fucking PS blew up. It blew up 2 rounds into the main event, and then we had to run another 3 rounds after that. It's fucking ridiculous.
Nah,
of all the ways.
That shit was so dusty, bro.
Yeah. Like, do you know the funniest part? I reverse search it. It's a legit pick. Like, that's legitimately it, which is even madder.
I just had my PC cracked open, like, literally half an hour ago, and that shit was dusty. But it was not like that, bro. It was a dust ball.
It was genuinely a bit scary. That's a fire hazard. That's what it was.
Like, y'all don't own fucking air compressors? Like, y'all don't have no compressed air on deck? We are gamers. Like,
this is normal. Yeah, exactly. No, it was absolutely wild.
My PS5 is actually looking a bit dusty right now. I might get in there.
Well, that was 127. That was one of the weirdest cards to date. I think we're in recent times. Has been a couple of strange oddities in the past, but that was definitely one of the more weirder ways it could have gone across the board. But nonetheless, the fights continue. PrimeTime continues going forward with even yourself managing to get the scum bucket after chatting so much shit about Holdy that the commentary curse decided to come back and bite you on the arse massively, which is really funny. Because you know what, Swag? You're not always right, are you?
What?
You're not always right. You always say you're always right, and you're not this time.
No, I'm always right. And the whole Holy thing, all right. Holy's gonna lose on the main card.
Not this week though.
It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be there for it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about this week. Come on, stop holding.
So
start from the prelims, doctor, because we're normal individuals.
Spectral Rush versus Regicide Clover.
I don't know any of those people.
So Spectral Rush, he's been on like the early prelims a few times now. He keeps like hanging around that like 16 to 25 mark. He loses a fight, goes into the unaired, wins a fight, comes back here, and he seems to be hanging around that position. Clover, Clover, Jesus swag. He's literally like 3 fights new to PT. And like this is his second time on the live card, so he's doing a decent job there. Clover is a guy that's been around for donkeys at this point. He was back in an old camp of ICB with me when I first started out in the early days of UFC 4. So there's that. American, hangs around Aleppo quite a lot from what I remember, was former EK/SMB, so he's got a lot of experience in those types of realms. How good he is at UFC 5 is yet to be determined, I suppose, but the man's gone 2-1 on the +1, so you assume he's fairly competent, you must admit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that should be a fun one, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, it should be. It's a nice way to start off. 2 relatively unknown in the lightweight division. It's going to be a fun one. From that point, you have K1 Eurobum versus Hitman, Hit MMA.
You want to talk about Hit? You want to say
that's a lie, actually, because these two had ping issues. So Eurobum's getting a replacement. And Hit is fighting Reaper. I forgot about this. Yeah. These two have been driving me up the wall with ping issues, which is understandable. I mean, I did see the ping. It's 120 jumping up to 300. It's kind of insane.
I read through this fight chat because I have admin power in the Primetime Discord.
You have stuff.
I shouldn't because I can, same shit, right? And I can see
different roles, but okay. Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I read the fight chats, and I laugh every time, you know.
Oh, some of the fight chats are wild.
That fight chat was wild though, with the ping issues, and that shit was hysterical. But yeah. So Eurobum's facing who?
Yet to be determined.
Oh.
I need to find a replacement for him. He's on the list too.
PlayStation?
Yeah, no, you can't have it.
Come on, his name's
You're not even ranked.
I'll do all the unaired fights you need me to right now. Like right after we do this. Like give me 3. Get people that are ready, I'll beat all of them.
And you would go 0-3. Have
I even fought this season?
No.
I'm on there. I'll see you soon, you're a bum. I'll see you soon.
Sign up next week then. You know when the sign-ups go up. Jesus. I'll get it on PS just so I can beat you up. It would save me the hassle. After that, we'll have Dex Supremacy versus STK Mad Dog.
Oh, Mad Dog got that. My STK brothers.
Okay, I was going to say I think Dex has it, but he lost to Holdy. It's
Dex is done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to disrespect Holdy, but like
win streak, and I'd be like, nah, you lost to Holdy, brother. Like I don't care.
Until Holdy's able to win, he needs to win his next fight within the top 5.
He's not gonna.
And then maybe we can. I'm currently just looking at Holdy's record. He's ranked 5, 4, and 1 on the +3, which is something I never thought I'd see.
What's next?
AKA Gangster versus K1 Ziggy Boy.
Ziggy Boy sounds familiar. I got Ziggy Boy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is it bad that I get Gangster and MG confused? They're part of the same camp.
Yes, that is actually really bad that you get them confused. They're not even close to the same people.
Well, I know MG's jab straights and now slip uppercuts, but I can't remember what Gangster is these days. He's a striker of some capacity.
Yeah, he's a gangster.
Again, formerly Tiny Z. Then you got the feature prelim, which I honestly really like. Lilo versus Hayes Fran.
That's a fun fight.
That's a fun fight. Yeah, it is. I don't know who wins it because I feel like they're eligible to knock each other out at the same time.
No, it's gonna be really yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight.
It's going to be they both throw head kicks and both knock each other down type fight. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the craziest shit.
For sure. Possible fight of the night contender should be a fun one. AKMG versus WR The Style.
I like that fight because Verse has been inactive the last couple of weeks.
You like that fight, and yet you yawned as soon as I said it.
I'm a busy guy. All right. When I'm tired, you can't question it. I like that fight because Verse hasn't been active in a couple of weeks, and I feel like he's been working. And MG.
He has been. The man's been wrangling.
Yeah, and MG learned how to throw a punch that's not a jab or a straight. So like, I'm excited to see what happens in that one. And like WR AKA got like a little like, I feel like it's a friendly rivalry they got going on low key. So like that'll be fun to see.
Fair enough. You got K1 Cooked versus Bobats.
Bobats?
Yeah, he's returned 2-0, ranked number 9.
I like his name.
I like his name. No camp, I don't think.
I think he's gonna win.
Did Dave fight K1 Cooked? Yeah, Cook's the guy who shot on Dave with Nate Diaz. Yeah. I still haven't quite understood Cook. Cook's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time, it feels like. He's just...
Yeah, that's exactly how Cooked plays. He's not here for a good time. He's here for... I mean, he's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time. That's exactly how he plays.
He's here just to get concussed and try to concuss his opponent.
It's going to be fun, whatever Cook says.
For sure, in the bantamweight division as well, a lot of fun options. Then you have Trixie versus Naznim. This fight has happened a while ago, I think halfway through season 1 or somewhere. And Trixie won. It was a step back straight or something, as Naznim was trying to get going for the kill.
I like Trixie. I apologized to Trixie about 2 weeks ago for saying he was on the cusp of becoming a gatekeeper. And I like Naznim. Naznim's always very aggressive and a very good fighter. And they're both cool guys. Honestly, I don't know how I see that fight going because of Trixie's involvement, and I mean because of Naznim's involvement in FSK and how much Fatinator despises Trixie getting wins. I can see that going more towards Naznim in this time around, but we'll see, of course, because you know Trixie does have a win over him.
Yep, very, very true. We had, for that fight, it's very much a case of seeing how FSK has progressed Naznim in terms of his fighting ability to seeing is mainly that fight there, so that's an interesting one. You got Dave versus Eagle.
Bro, I don't know because like Dave is completely...
Do we get Curse Dave or do we get Sensible Eagle? Those are our two options.
Because I feel like the curse is broken. So like, what do we get now?
So we get Dave, who's gonna go on a +5 and go 11-2.
Do we see a normal Dave? Like, is there a normal Dave out there? Is he gonna win fights? Like, or is Eagle gonna come out and dominate? Also, what Eagle's gonna show up? Is an Eagle that like knows how to fight gonna show up?
Eagle with fight IQ or no fight IQ, yeah.
Or is an Eagle with no wings showing up? Like, what are we getting?
Yeah, that fight, it's a really weird one to witness. But it's going to be a good one nonetheless. I think there's a lot of Fight Night contenders in the main card. There's about 3 or 4 of them. So we were going to have mix-ups versus Holdy. It's very possible that instead that fight, I don't know what happens. That fight may get pushed back now because Holdy has pulled out. So it may be the case of the mix-ups fight instead gets pushed back for next week. We can look at maybe getting a replacement in, but no guarantee there. Yeah, that one got looked into and will be decided before Saturday, I suppose, will be the way that one goes.
You know how I feel about that fight, Doc.
Why? You think gets mixed up by murder?
Holdy versus Mix-Ups, yeah.
Yeah.
Mix-Ups is going to destroy that bum. And like when I say that bum, I mean it kind of like I've never spoken to Holdy before, but I feel like me and Holdy are good friends, right? And I think that, you know, when I call Holdy a bum, it's cool. But if anybody else calls Holdy a bum, we're gonna have a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think Holdy gets absolutely destroyed by fucking mix-ups. Like mix-ups. You remember what Fad did to mix-ups in the second fight?
I was gonna say, I'm glad you clarified the second fight. Yeah.
Mix-ups does that times 10 to Holdy.
Could you imagine if Holdy gets a title shot?
Holdy versus Fadinator?
Or Drews?
Let's be realistic here.
I mean, as that fight is just down on paper, with the fighter picks, I lean your way, but we'll go into that into a second. The fight before that, though, the co-main, Joby Joe versus Muay Thai Jesus.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
This is a number one contender to fight Naz. Naz is literally fighting people who have just got some wild names, I've got to admit. He had Cooked Vuck, and now he's got Joby Joe or Muay Thai Jesus.
Muay Thai Jesus gonna win just because of the fact that, like, one, who the fuck is Joby Joe? And second off,
he's gone 3-1
Muay
on the
Thai
plus
Jesus
3.
is really good. Like, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
He's
That's
Jesus.
gonna be a fun fight. I got Muay Thai Jesus by Godfrey.
Religious. Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens.
He's gonna crucify the poor man. Get me a crucifix and all.
Joby Joe.
It's gonna be a good fight. I don't think. And then we have our main event. Driz and Fadinator. This is gonna be in welterweight. So do you want to take a guess at the picks?
Fadinator is Leon and Driz is Connor.
No, you got one of the picks.
Driz is Connor?
No.
Fadinator is Leon.
Yeah.
Driz is Colby?
No. Colby? What the fuck?
Shavkat?
No. Colby? No.
Kamzat?
No. Jesus, no. This isn't a meta pick. Well, yeah, it's kind of, but it's not really a meta pick. But Colby and Kamzat are definitely not the main meta pick. God, no. What the fuck are you saying? Do you not know the welterweight metas? Because Colby was a wild one.
Nick Diaz?
No.
Oh, he's in lightweight.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz?
No. What the fuck? It's not Prime Lawler either. It's someone like McGregor and it's someone like Lawler, but he's a very new addition to the weight.
Ian Gary?
No. He doesn't really have any pop to his punches.
Just tell me.
Jeff Neal.
Oh. Leon versus Neil.
Yeah. Driz is Jeff Neal. Fadinator is Leon Edwards. It's
brother.
Interesting matchup.
Fad definitely can't let me down twice. So we'll see. I do got Fadinator by a milli here. I think Fad takes it home. Fad's gonna bring that belt back to where it belongs.
Look, the picks definitely 100% indicate that way. Like, it's very clear. However, the one thing that Jeff Neal does have is a shit ton of power on his side. He's a bit short for welterweight, but he does have a shit ton of power. And that is how Fad beat Drew. Is that how Driz beat him? Yeah, that's how Driz beat him last time. I think Fad picked Izzy and Driz was Pereira, if I'm remembering the fights correctly. So that's how it kind of happened last time. It wasn't necessarily having a better stylistic matchup, it was more on the power side.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the idea then. But then you also got picks like Robbie Lawler, which I would argue are the more powerful picks overall. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a good fight.
Oh, for sure.
But I got Fad in it.
Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. And so, I mean, yeah, that's all we got. We got what? That was 127, 128.
This Saturday.
This Saturday, indeed. With that comes the newest patch. It's not out just yet. It'll be out tomorrow, I believe, at 6 p.m. BST, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Couple change to the striking, stamina on the higher end for short term being reduced, so it's less to have less of it at the higher end for recovery. Couple of like frame reductions for lightweight, middleweight, and from lightweight up to heavyweight for a bunch of fancy kicks. Grappling, it's had a couple bits, so they've decreased the short-term stam cost, increased the net long-term stamina cost. Jauton Almeida has got his name changed, and his arms have been updated, finally. So his model should be a bit more looked in that. Couple of patch fixes. They fucked around the Superman punch. That may be some interesting to you.
Oh.
They just gave it some more damage and stuff. Oh, and we get Michael Wenham Page tomorrow.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
And Martin Tabura. And Drew Dober. And a bunch of others.
Good.
Yeah.
Those are all good additions, yes, sir.
You get 3 new flyweights.
Finally.
Yeah, they definitely need new flyweights. I think we get.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at the patch notes. I'm kind of more like I saw a little bit on Twitter, but like I don't really read them anymore because like I continue to be disappointed, but I do feel like they're going in the right direction. Tomorrow's patch will be a big difference.
Yeah, no, I think there are definitely some more stuff from what I've been reading within the general community, stuff around hit stun, hit reactions, general stamina improvements, and some counter damage. I think are the next big things on the table, for sure. But outside of that, yeah, all going in the right direction, even when it's been 7 months or whatever the hell. It's looking good.
Looking as good as it can look.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta keep your hopes reasonable, not too high, not too low. But
yeah, we'll see.
All that being said, we have covered everything we needed to, and we've been going to hit about the 40-minute mark right about now. And so, if you want to catch the PC 128 this Saturday, it'll be live on PrimeTime MMA on Twitch and on the current YouTube you're watching. That'll be 3:30 Eastern, 8:30 BST. If you like what you've heard from Dr. Swaggy Kush over here, this man's live on Twitch. Link is in the description. He's got a podcast as well. Check that out on his YouTube. Anything else you want to plug or say?
Oh. I have another influencer grappling match coming up.
Oh, God's sake. You're going to be concussed.
This one's going to be a win. This one's gonna be a domination win. And you're only gonna be able to see it on my Twitch. So make sure you're there on May 4th live for the match. It's gonna be a 15-minute grappling match, just like me versus Romero. Only this time I'm gonna be the aggressor here, and it's, I've been training hard in the jitsu. I've been working on my spider god, and it is a no-gi match, but I will go hard. It will be a phenomenal performance from myself. But yeah.
Well then, I personally I have no hope for Swaggy, but that's just because it's Swaggy. He's lovely, but yeah, he seems so offended.
You're next.
Come at me. Come on.
I'm gonna kick Philly Blunt's ass, and then you're next.
Okay.
It's gonna be the main event of a primetime event.
Bring it.
They're gonna switch from video game to just me and Doc on a mat, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of Doc.
Fucking bring it.
And Lucky better be there too, because Lucky can catch the smoke as well.
Bring it, Swag.
Cyrus's bald ass can get it too.
Cyrus would actually probably murder you, all things considered.
Nah, he'd roll for a knee bar and end my life.
Yeah, probably.
I'd never be able to walk again.
Well then, even with all the trash talk here, that has been Primetime Post Mortem episode 21. Have a good night. Adios.